When you're doing mass stoichiometry, sometimes you have to also work out which one's the limiting reagent, which one's going to run out first. If they don't say anything, you always assume that something else is in excess. But this is the analogy. So if you only have two bicycle frames, then you're only going to be able to get two bicycles no matter how many wheels there are. And so this one is the limiting reagent and this one's in excess. And you don't need to worry about the excess because that's not what's going to limit the amount of stuff you're going to get. It's only the limiting reagent that ends up determining how much you can get. Just a little bit more on the details of how you go about it. It's exactly the same as a stoichiometric, the same 3 steps, except for it's an addition to the first step. You're going to have to grab, assuming there's only 2 reactants, A and B. If there's more, you might have to do more work. And so you grab the 2, you work out the number of moles each, you do a comparative statement to then determine if it's limiting or excess, and then you can grab the limiting and move on to step 2. So here's the practice reaction. So 2.5 of ethane and 3 grams of oxygen, a little bit cruel because you have to know how to write it and balance and everything, so I'll just give that to you now. So we've got 2:7 here. So we work out the number of moles of oxygen. So there's 3 grams of oxygen here, molar mass 32, 2.5, molar mass 38. And so that's how many moles we have of both of these. So we choose now to either grab the oxygen and see how much ethane is needed, or we grab the amount of ethane and work out how much oxygen is needed. And it doesn't matter which one you choose. So here I've chosen to go for the oxygen. And so I'll do the ratios for that. So 2 moles of ethane to 7 of oxygen. Then there is I'm using oxygen, so I'm putting 0.938 there and then working out how much of this I'll need if that was the limiting reagent. And so there's the cross multiplying, so 7x is 2 times that. So that ends up being x is 0.268. So I now do a comparative statement. So I know I have this much and this is excess. So I know I have plenty of this. This is how much I need and this is how much I have. So this is definitely the excess because I have a lot of it and this one's limiting. So you need to make a statement that explains that now that you've got the working there. So that's probably the most important thing to do, is make a statement so that people know and you know what's going on. So however, we have 0.0831 moles of ethane, therefore is in excess, therefore O2 is a limiting reagent. Okay, so that's how you work it out. So you now can move forward and use O2 in the calculations. Now, if you used C2H6, you'll come to the same conclusions, but in a different way, and you might be saying therefore this one's excess or this one's limiting or whatever. So you just need to make a logical statement here that tells you which one's excess, which one's limiting, so you can move on. Okay, so try a few of those practice questions. There are some on the website too.